Good morning everyone. Shubha Maha ShivRatri. Today I will explain about the festival Maha ShivRatri and recite Shiva Tandav Stotram and explain its meaning. The word Shiva simply means Mangalyam, means auspicious. The term Shiva has much larger connotation, which includes having the potential, being capable of, boding well, being favorable, or composing. Shiva can be split into Sha, E, and Va, where Sha stands for Shariram or body, E stands for Aishwari or life-giving energy, and Va stands for Vayu or motion. If the E is removed from Shiva, it gets reduced to Shava, which means a lifeless body. We also use the term Shavasana in yoga, where one is motionless in an absolute state of rest. While Shava is motionless or lifeless, Shiva is with the potential of life. Anything with Shiva is with life, and anything without Shiva is lifeless. So Shiva is auspicious, Shiva is life, and Shiva is potential. Shiva is all-encompassing, the universal soul of consciousness. This realization of the eternal fact that the Shiva is an energy, Tattva, leads to Ananda or bliss. For centuries, Lord Shiva's form or pictorial depiction has been glorified by historians and devotees. A body smeared with ash, a tiger skin encircling his loins, a crescent moon adorning his forehead, matted hair piled high on his head from where the celestial river Ganga flows. One hand holding the trident, other sat in a classical mudra. Sometimes he is playing the dambru as he is consumed in the cosmic dance. The third eye between the brows, accentuating his bold handsomeness, snakes encircling his azure neck. This image, in its evocativeness, has never failed to attract and arouse the curiosity within. The 1008 names of Shiva only serves to praise his infinite and versatile nature, his unknowable mystery, which is devoid of polarities, composite and synthesized. Yet he is beyond description or definition. Lord Shiva can only be experienced and lived through. The most sacred festival of Shiva falls on the 14th night of the new moon, during the dark half of the lunar month of Falguna. This is sometime between February and March. This is Maha ShivRatri, or the great night of Shiva. The devotees of Shiva stay awake the entire night on this auspicious night of ShivRatri. Some perform pujas, chants, Vedic mantras or Rudram, practice sadhana and meditation. These sacred practices bestow a sense of peace within us and oneness into the world. For ascetics, it is the way Shiva became one with Mount Kailash. He became like a mountain, absolute still. In the yogic tradition, Shiva is not worshipped as a god, but considered as the Adi Guru, the first Guru from whom the science of yoga originated. After many millennia in meditation, one day he became absolutely still. That day is Maha ShivRatri. All movements in him stopped and he became utterly still. So ascetics too see Maha ShivRatri as the night of stillness. The word yogi means one who has realized the oneness of the existence. Yoga here is not one particular practice or system, but all longing to know the unbounded, all longing to know the oneness in the existence of is yoga. The night of Mahashivratri offers a person an opportunity to experience this. It is meant to wake up every particle of your body. The festival is a wake-up call to move away from conflicts and move towards truth, beauty, peace, and benevolence, the eternal qualities of Shiva. Shiva Tandava Stotra. Ravana, the king of Lanka, was a fierce devotee of Lord Shiva. He came to Mount Kailasha all the way from down south. He had a drum which he used to set up the beat and composed 1008 verses extempore, which is called the Shiva Tandava Stotram. Shiva Tandava Stotra is a stotra or a hymn of praise that describes Lord Shiva's power and beauty. Both the 9th and the 10th quatrains of this hymn conclude the list of Shiva's epithets as destroyer, even the destroyer of death itself. Alliteration and imitation create roiling waves of resounding beauty in this Hindu devotional hymn. In the final quatrain of the poem, after tiring of rampaging across the earth, Ravana asked, "When will I be happy?" Because of the intensity of his prayer and ascetic meditation, of which this hymn was an example, Ravana received the boon of indestructibility by all powers on earth and heaven by Lord Shiva. Shiva Tandava Stotra. Jatadvikkala Jwalapravaha Pavistale Gale Lavya Lambita Bhujanga Tunga Malika Dama 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 Dammaninada Vandamavadya Chakara Chanda Tandavam Tanotunah Siva Shivam Jatakata Sambrava Brahmani Limpa Nirjari Vilola Villachari Virajamana Murdhane Dagat 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 Jalalat Patta Pavake Kishora Chandra Shekhare Ratihi Pratikshanam Mama Dharadharendra Nandini Vilasha Bandhu Bandhura Sparu Dinganta Stannati Pramodamana Manase Krupa Kataksha Dhorini Nirutta Durdharapadi Kachitti Gambare Manovinod Metu Vastuni Chatabhujanga Pendala Spuratkanava Niprabha Kadamba Kundava Drava Palita Timba Dhumukhe Madanda Sindura Spuratva Kuttariya Medure Manovinoda Madadbhutam Vibhutu Bhutu Bhatire Sahasralochana Prabhutya Shesha Lekha Shekhara Prashudhuli Dhorini Vidusarangi Puithabu Bhujangarajamalaya Nibatta Jata Jutakaha Shriye Chiraya Jayatam Chakora Bandhu Shekharaha Lalata Chatvara Jwalatta Nascha Sphalingabha Nipitta Pascha Sayakam Namande Limpanayakam Shudamayukha Lekhaya Virajamana Sekharam Mahakapali Sampade Shirot Jatalamastunah Karala Bhala Pattika Dagat 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 Jalot Dhananjayahu Tikruta Prachanda Pascha Pashayake Dharadharendra Nandini Kushagra Chitrapatraka Prakalpane Kashilpini Trilochane Ratirmama Navina Mega Mandali Niruttada Dudara Spurata Kahushali Shithi Nitamaha Prabandha Bhatta Kandaraha Nilimpa Nirja Dara Stanotu Kutti Sinduraha Kalani Dana Banduraha Shriya Jagattara Durandaraha प्रफुल्लनीलपङ्कजपपञ्चकाली भप्रभा वलम्बिकष्टकन्दली रुचिप्रबद्धकन्दरं स्मरच्छिदपुरच्छिदं भवच्छिदं मकच्छिदं गजच्छिदान्तकच्छिदं समन्तकच्छिदं भजे अखर्वसर्व अङ्कलाकला कदम्बकं कम्बरी रसप्रभा माधुरी विजम्बणाम द्रवत्रमं स्मरान्तकं पुरान्तकं भवान्तकं मखान्तकं गजान्तकान्तकान्तकं तमन्तकान्तकं भजे जयत्वदब्रवीभ्रमभ्रम तम्बज्जडम स्वसदा विनिर्गत्मक्रं स्फुरत्कराल बालहव्यवाट् दिमिद्दिमिद्दिमिद्वन अमृततुङ्गतुङ्गमण्डला ध्वनिक्रमप्रवर्तिते प्रचण्डताण्डव शिवः दशद्विचित्रतल्पयो भुजङ्गमुक्तिकस्त्रजोरः गरिष्ठरत्नलोष्टयोः शुद्धद्विपक्षपक्षयोः तृणविन्दचक्षुषोः प्रजाः महेन्द्रयोः समप्रवीकः कदा सदा शिवं भजाम्यहं कदा निलम्पनिर्जरे निकुञ्जकोटरे वसना विमुक्तदुर्भति सदा शिरः स्थमञ्जिजलिं वहन विमुक्तलोचनो ललामभाललग्नकः शिवेति मन्त्रमुच्चरकन्द सुखी भव्याहं हमा इमं हि नित्यमेव मुक्तमूर्तनं स्तवं पठन्नं स्मरन्तु वन्नरो विशुद्धिमेति सन्ततं हरे हरो शुभे भक्तिमाशु याति नान्यथा गतिं विमोहनं हि देहिनां शुशङ्करस्य चिन्तनं पूजावसान समये दशभक्तगीतयं यः शम्भुपूजन परं पठति प्रदोषे तस्य स्थिरां गजेन्द्र तुरङ्गयुक्ता लक्ष्मी सदैव सुमुखीं प्रददाति शम्भुः इति श्रीरावणकृतं शिवताण्डवस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम्. This means with his neck consecrated by the flow of water that flows from his hair and on his neck a snake which is hung like a garland and the drum that emits the sound of dama dama dama, Lord Shiva did the auspicious dance of Tandava. May he give prosperity to all of us. I have a deep interest in Shiva, whose head is glorified by the rows of moving waves of the celestial Ganga river, which steer in the deep well of his hair in tangled locks, and who has the brilliant fire burning on the surface of his forehead, and who has the crescent moon as a jewel on his head. May my mind seek happiness in Lord Shiva, in whose mind all the living beings of the glorious universe exist, who is the companion of Parvati, daughter of the mountain king, who controls unsurpassed adversity with his compassionate gaze, which is all-pervading, and who wears the heavens as his raiment. May I find wonderful pleasure in Lord Shiva, who is the advocate of all life, with his creeping snake, with its reddish-brown hood and the shine of its gem on it, spreading variegated colors on the beautiful faces of the goddesses of their directions, which is covered by the shimmering shawl made from the skin of a huge inebriated elephant. May Lord Shiva give us prosperity, who has the moon as a crown, whose hair is bound by the red snake garland, whose footrest is darkened by the flow of dust from flowers which fall from the heads of all the gods, Indra, Vishnu, and others. May we obtain the riches of the siddhis from the tangled strands, Shiva's hair, who devoured the god of love with the sparks of the fire that burns on his forehead, which is revered by all the heavenly leaders, which is beautiful with a crescent moon. My interest is in Lord Shiva, who has 3 eyes, who offered the powerful god of love to fire. The terrible surface of his forehead burns with the sound of daga daga daga. He is the only artist expert in tracing decorative lines on the tips of the breast of Parvati, the daughter of Mountain King. May Lord Shiva gives us prosperity, the one who bears the weight of this universe, who is enchanting with the moon, who has the celestial river Ganga, whose neck is dark as midnight on the new moon night covered in layers of clouds. I pray to Lord Shiva, whose neck is bound with the brightness of the temples, hanging with the glory of full moon bloomed blue lotus flowers, which looks like the blackness of the universe, who is the slayer of Manmatha, who destroyed the Tripura, who destroyed the bonds of worldly life, who destroyed the sacrifice, who destroyed the demon Andhaka, who is the destroyer of the elephants, and who has overwhelmed the god of death, Yama. I pray to Lord Shiva, who has bees flying all around because of his sweet scent of honey coming from the beautiful bucket of auspicious Kadamba flowers, who is the slayer of Manmatha, who destroyed the Tripura, who destroyed the bonds of worldly life, and who is overwhelmed the god of death. Who has fire on his great forehead, the fire that has spreading out because of the breath of the snake, wandering in the whirling motions in the glorious sky. When will I be able to worship Lord Sadashiva, the eternally auspicious God, with equanimous vision towards people or emperors, towards a blade of grass and a lotus, towards friends and enemies, towards the most precious gem and a lump of dirt, toward a snake or garland, and towards the varied forms of the world? When can I be happy living in a cave near the celestial river Ganga, bringing my hands clasped on my head all the time, with my impure thoughts washed away, uttering the mantra of Shiva, devoted to the god with the glorious forehead and with vibrant eyes? Anyone who reads, remembers, and recites this stotra as stated here is purified forever and obtains devotion in the great Guru Shiva. For this devotion there is no other way or refuge. Just the mere thought of Shiva removes the delusion. My prostration to Lord Shiva, the description of whose great Tandav dances sends a thrill of blessedness through the devotees. During the time of completion of the puja, those who recite this hymn composed by the 10-headed Ravana recite this after completing the puja of Sambhu in the evening. Who is steadfast in this worship, to him will come the blessings of Shiva, chariots yoked with king of elephants and horses, signifying prosperity. And Devi Lakshmi will always show her graceful face to him. Sri Shambhu will bestow this boon. Thus the Shiva Tandav Stotra or hymn composed by Ravana is complete. Om Namah Shivaya.